gentleman that he made a little jig. And all you do is balance it on your wheel and put that thing on your bar that raises up and down, and that's your angle. And this is, I'll just leave it here at the club. You can I just did it on my telephone. This is the formula you use. You take 1/2 of the radius of your wheel minus the core, and that's the angle you want to put on your tool, and you'll get an answer of 2 inches. So then you cut out a piece of wood on your table saw 2 inches wide. And then I just added a little, and he shows you just add a little piece of wood across the top of it. And now when you lay it on, you lay that part on top of your wheel, and you lay the other one on the shelf that rotates up and down until you get it flush, and now you have your angle. So my tools are screwed up. So now I think I got tools pretty well close to what they're supposed to be. So it'll be a little bit easier after that. But anyway, I'll leave that here.
Can you show how, hold a tool against the wheel there, just to show how it works?
Well, if that was your...
Tim, why don't you just go over to the wheel?
Yeah.
Turn that light on, maybe.
You just take and... Let's see, I can probably... You just lay it like that, and then square it up. And now this is set for a 40-degree angle.
Okay.
So, and I've got some sheets with me from Carter and Sons, and I'll just leave them here too. And it shows you all the angles that your different tools should be at. So I don't know if anybody has that stuff. You guys are all pros. I'm not.
Can we look at these while
So if you want one, you can take one, or we're gonna leave them here. Anyway, that's the formula. That, you know, in a side story, I'm trying to find, what the hell is core again? Core again. I keep looking on the internet, I'm putting CUS. I get into cuss words. I go, wait a minute, what is this? How come nobody's explaining it? It's still me right. I type CUS instead of COS. Anyway, that's the formula. You take the width of your cut. That's how you find how wide your board's going to be. And you take 1/2 of the radius of your wheel. So on an 8-inch wheel, you have 4 inches. So that'd be 4 minus the core, and that's what you type in, COR. And then that's the angle you're looking for, and that's the answer you'll get for a 60-degree angle. And so it tells you to cut a 2-inch strip of wood. Now all the other ones, they're less than 2 inches. They keep getting smaller, smaller, and you get little decimals. On that one, I just took my tool and turned it on and set up the angle that the new dimensions were supposed to be. And then I put it on my table saw. I had to put a little strip in front of the fence, but I was able to set the difference between the fence and the blade, and then I cut that next strip. And that's how I kept getting my strips tinier, tinier, and tinier, and tinier for the different angles. So if, you know, my tools were messed up. This is a vessel that maybe I'll get it finished by next club meeting, but this will kind of show you how you can make it. Now I put the wedges in just to help hold these little pieces of wood in place. And I'll pass that around. And that's all that was. And these are just hot glued in, these little pieces of wood. And these are little dowels that come in and out. And all the dowels do is keeps your grain in a line. This allows me to take, or allows you to take and lock this in place, and now you just run it through your bandsaw to cut your angle. So I brought the jig over so if people want to take a look at it, take some pictures of it, make your own.
So is that pivoting, Tim, on the here?
Yeah, this is a pivoting pin.
And those little holes you change.
The little holes I have so you can move this thing back and forth. If you have a bigger bowl like this that you want to cut off, you got to back that up a little bit. So that's all that does. And so I know where you guys like to make a lot of bowls, you may want to try something like this. And what the pins, what these little blocks do, again, like I said, they just, when you cut through them, you leave them there, and you cut through the other section, and you pull it out. If you want your piece that you cut out to be indented, then you just take that piece out and you scroll a line around it, and you just put it on a sander and sand it down, and clean it up, sand it up, clean it up. And then you put everything back together with the dowels in place.
See, the inside, does that show on the inside?
No. Doesn't show on the inside.
And yet you just cut that up.
Yeah. But it's going back together, all the grain matches up. The only thing I'm doing here now when I got done was I took and taped this all off. I taped that all off on both sides and then painted it.
So that is the original wood.
Yeah. The other way of doing it, of course, would be to take the top and the bottom and put it back on your lathe and leave the middle section the original size and cut it down. And so now you got a piece sticking out instead of sucked in. And I just took and put some gold leaf on that. I took a class with John Beaver, and that's how I kind of learned how to do some of this stuff. The only other thing you have to make for this is a cap. So that when you put it back on your lathe, you leave the tenon there, you put it back in your chuck, you can bring your tailstock up and put the pressure to glue everything back together again. And you got your dowel pins going in to hold the grain in place. So you can pass those around if nobody wants them. Now the glue gun, hot glue gun I use is not very good. I don't know. It was my mom's, which was it was probably from 60 years ago. But well, that's that little thing. And then another vessel. If you take your vessel and you cut it through, turn it 90 degrees, move it up and cut it again, you get this design. So, and then if you take and put a little, indent it a little bit before you make your cuts, indent it a little bit and paint the inside, mask it off, paint your inside, paint that strip, it looks like it's a bowl inside of a bowl. So.
But it's all done holding the piece on your jig, and then you move the jig to
Yes.
the turn.
Yes. Yeah. Your piece is into your chuck and it's just being held tight and you're just sliding this back and forth. So people were asking about it last month, so that's why I brought it in. Now this is usually on my lathe. The chuck's on my lathe and the vessel is tight inside the chuck. I couldn't tighten it up. The walls are getting in the way. And this thing also goes up and down. So if you have a taller vessel, you can slide that up and down. One more thing, I did this, because I did bracelets. I gotta pass this around. I happened to find this piece of wood that I had cut out. And again, I made some dowels to go through them. So I could put this on that jig, and I could cut two bracelets at the same time. I could cut the first one out, and then when I pull that apart, I could do the next one. Or keep them together and just take a drill and drill out the middle.